And we are live. We are live. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We're going to be talking about the story that's been kind of going viral, been all over the place. We all remember the movie Blind Side with Sandra Bullock and a big black dude who we never heard of until that movie. I'm not 100% sure if that's the same guy that played Biggie. No, it's not. He just looked like the guy that played Biggie. I don't believe they're the same person. But either way it go, he portrayed Michael Oher in the movie. And we know the movie, they took in troubled youth with a PH, and look after him, took care of him. Some odds and ends and details of the movie probably weren't exactly accurate, but that was the general gist of it. The family helped him out a lot, got him off the street, played a big part of him going to college, and ultimately making it to the NFL. Lo and behold, fast forward some 20 years later, he's suing them. He's suing them for a number of things that we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details of it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty details of it. And when I broke it down, when I looked at everything and all the factors and averaged everything into the equation, I don't necessarily see what he truly has to stand on with the lawsuit. There's some things, there's some small minor details, but it just leads me to the conclusion that he's probably broke. The Tui family, at least doesn't appear that they exercise any control in his career and financial decisions. They were already worth $200 million, or at least they got $200 million when they sold their company. They're rich. They got more money than him. So it's hard to believe they were trying to make money off of him. So we got to scratch beneath the surface and figure out what's going on here, because it's a lot going on here. So we're going to break it down. I got a lot of things to pull out, a lot of things to break down with that. So strap on in. Strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
We've done so much with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything with nothing. Shout out to Machismo TV. Make sure you go and subscribe to the best male-centric highlight reel clips channel in the business. But let's get into it. Shout out to the early bird squad, those making it in bright and early. Some of y'all are making some interesting comments about the topic already. Going to be responding to those before I get into it. Ron Brown in the building. Shout out to you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate you coming through. Shout out to you. Deacon Dave in the building. Shout out to Deacon Dave. The Master Trucker in the building. Chris G. Shout out to you. Rational B says, we've been lied to about everything. Only the truth will set us free. Indeed, indeed. Chris G in the building says, family. TD Hutch says they lied to make a movie, but saying that it was based off a true story. Well, where exactly was the lie in terms of making the movie? The lifestyle, the upbringing, mama on crack, and the whole, the whole black stereotypical upbringing. He did live that lifestyle. They did, find him, discover him, and they did bring him into their home. They did take care of him. They never formally adopted him. And I do think that in his ignorance, when they signed what amounted to being a conservatorship, we'll get into what that is. That's what he did sign. And I do believe that he probably thought those were adoption papers. So he probably thought he was adopted, but he was never adopted. And so I don't see the lie. There was the perception that they adopted him. There was a perception in the movie that they legally adopted him when they had him sign those papers. And then in the movie, it was a line where it said, it means you're a part of this family, So the movie did kind of make it seem like he was legally adopted. But even when he wrote a book in 2011, he didn't state in the book that he was legally adopted. It was a conservatorship, and we'll get into exactly what that is. And that's part of the problem. The conservatorship, it gives somebody full control to make decisions, about your life, your financial decisions, and this or that or blah blah blah. They couldn't legally adopt him because I believe he had turned 18, so they couldn't technically legally adopt him, but they did want to, their story. I'll speak to their story. Their story is they wanted to be able to make decisions about, and aid and assist him and be, part of the process in helping him go to college. So that conservatorship was what they did. It probably gave them a little pull. It's hard to explain that part exactly. And that's what opens the door for somebody to say, yeah, see how they was trying to, have some control and power over him going forward. For if he makes it to the NFL, they can control, his financial decisions and his money and this or that. But there's no evidence that they ever controlled any of that. There's only evidence that they, did what they could to work behind the scenes to get him in Ole Miss, their alma mater. That's what they did. That's what they did. So here's the deal. I'm gonna get more into that. Rational B in the building says the system isn't broken. It was built this way intentionally. Java Joe says, get him, Bernard. What you mean, get him? Who I'm getting? Shut up. I ain't getting nobody. But no, I'm about to break some stuff down because it's hard to explain exactly what's going on. But when I break down all the evidence, it does leave you thinking, is he broke trying to sue them for something? If he was adopted, would he be entitled to some inheritance? Because they did sell a company for $200 million. It doesn't appear that they made a lot of money off the film. It's a lot of things like that. So we got to get into that. Shout out to Domino King. Shout out to Feminine Melanin in the building. Says like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Rational B. Shout out to Greg McNeely. Says Colin Kaepernick and the cornrows kerfuffle with his adopted parent 2.0. Hoop jargon in the building. Says play that Johnny. Absolutely.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
But all right, it's time to get on in it. It's time to get on into this bad boy. Let's get to it. What am I gonna do? Going to pull up something that gives a sort of video overview. We're going to play an interview where he was, talking about the Tui. The whole interview wasn't about that, unfortunately. But when the guy was asking him about the Tui family, the Blindside family, he was very dismissive. He got smoke. He got beef for them. He got problems and he got issues with them. And it's a long article where they got quotes from the family where they said there was some controversial things going on. I'm gonna pull up the article where it was quotes from the family where they were more or less saying, particularly the son was saying that Michael Oher behind the scenes was telling them that, certain amount of money, I won't go public with this shit, So it was, I mean, it some of it is bad. Some of it looks like a damn shakedown. Some of it looked like wait a minute, if there was a conservatorship to help them go to college, then why is that conservatorship still in place? It should have been disbanded a long time ago. Are they still hanging on to it? Was he really that ignorant that he didn't know that it was a conservatorship? And if it was a conservatorship, which means they had control over his financial decisions, okay, were they controlling it? Like those are the questions. And those questions are not being put in the forefront of any of this. So it sounds like it could be much to do about nothing. It sounds like it's publicity because he got a new book coming out and he's doing a book tour. Truth Only is saying he just married a black woman. I think that's a coincidence. You think his newly found black wife is like, nah, we need to get more money off these white folks. You was raised by rich white folks. We need to be doing more. RM, look up for me real quick and put it in a private chat how much money he made in his NFL career. I think it was like $40 million. People can run through $40 million. That's why I'm thinking he might be broke. There's no hard evidence that he's broke, but 20 years, I think he got in the NFL in 2004. So yeah, in 20 years, you could $40 million after tax, that's 20 million. You can run through $20 million in 20 years. Sound crazy, but it's a thing. It's a thing. But all right, let's get into this. Let's get into this video. They're giving an overview and breakdown of what's going on. I'm going to get into an article that gives more details about what's going on, and I'm going to play an interview by Michael Oher where he speaks in a small part of the interview about the Tui family. So let's go.
Actually 14 years ago, drafted Michael Oher with the first round pick. Later that year, the movie The Blind Side came out. And this one just kind of landed out of the blue yesterday. I think ESPN.com had the original story. Michael A. Fletcher.
I got my numbers wrong. I said 20 years ago. So no, that was inaccurate. That was accurate. They said 14 years ago he was drafted. He played 8 years and then he retired. So all right. So I got the numbers wrong, but that's fine. That's fine.
Sure. Penned it, and it caught fire. I'd noticed it because Michael Oher was all of a sudden trending. It's like, why is Michael Oher trending? And I quickly found out that he's filed a lawsuit, a petition, to be more legally correct, against the Tui family, alleging that they never actually adopted him, that this whole claim of an adoption was a ruse aimed at getting him. Now, these are his allegations. They'll be entitled to respond. But his allegation is it was a ruse aimed at getting him to sign a conservatorship that basically gave them the power over all of his finances, over all of his deals. And one of his claims is when it was time to do a deal to make The Blind Side, he didn't get a penny.
Look at this one. Feminine Melanin University says maybe the black woman gave him the support, faith, believing in him to go forward with taking on Whitey. And by Whitey, you mean the people who took him into their home and took care of him when he was practically homeless, given the lifestyle that he was living at home. He was saying the same stuff back then. He's just saying that he's saying now. He's saying the same stuff back then that he's saying now. Okay. I wouldn't exactly say that he's going against Whitey. I think something about it is pretty backstabby to me. Something about it is pretty backstabby. Now, this is the only thing I would say. If it was the case, if it was the case that he signed that conservatorship, and let's just say that they weren't rich, they were just some nice, comfortably upper middle class people who would come up off $1 million baby that they took into their house. If that was the case, then I could see like, they got him to sign that conservatorship. That means they got their hands in his pockets for the rest of his career until he, do something to break up the conservatorship. So then it begs the question, what were they doing? How have they profited? What did they benefit? In what ways did they control him or his money? And I did the research. I looked, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find no ways that they controlled anything that he was doing. None. I could not find it. So there's that. I could not find it. So I don't, it's hard for me to tell exactly what he's taking on. They're saying that he's saying that they made a lot of money off the movie because of that conservatorship, because they were able to use his name, image, and likeness or whatever to make money, but they didn't exactly make money off the movie. I think they got I forgot what it was, like $200,000. I think the family, 5 of them, and I think they got like $200,000 each. I'm gonna read an article that explains that. Like for them, people who sold a company for $200 million, that $200,000 is chump change to them. So I don't see how they benefited or profited anything. Now, I guess it is kind of messed up. He didn't make any money off of it, but it's not that uncommon for people to not make any money off of a movie made about them unless they, are directly participating in it. So, Emmett Perry, you say that's a lot, that $200,000 each. It's 5 of them. They got, the husband, wife, and 3 kids. They all split. They all got $200,000 each. Okay, yeah, I suppose that's a lot. I suppose that's a lot. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But it's not like they just they broke the bank on that and then didn't give him none of the money. It's we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Because there's some areas where some criticism can take place of them too. But we're gonna get into that. So let's go.
And they all got paid, the whole family. And one of his claims is when it was time to do a deal to make The Blind Side, he didn't get a penny. And they all got paid, the whole family. Husband, wife, and the kids all got paid, and he didn't get anything. And I don't know why this is coming to a head now.
That's my first question. Why is it taking so long to figure out you haven't been paid for one of the bigger movies, in the last 20 years?
The thing that really got my attention was the allegation that Michael Oher first discovered this discrepancy in February of 2023. That speaks to an element in the law that allows you to get around the statute of limitations defense, the discovery rule.
Oh, gotcha.
And I remember first learning about it in a case. This was in law school, but somebody had a sponge left in them during surgery. Well, more than 2 years passed before the person learned they had a sponge inside of them. And so when the lawsuit's filed, the defense is, it's been more than 2 years. That's the statute of limitations. Yeah, but I just found out I have a sponge inside me. I didn't know I had a sponge inside of me until last week. So the period of time, whatever it would be, and there's different statutes of limitations depending upon the claims. When I see that language in there about discover, any version of the word discovery, I think they know they got a statute of limitations problem, and they know they better have an argument, a persuasive and compelling and factually supportable argument as to why he waited as long as he did. And there is the money quote from the filing. He discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Toohey family, in fact, provided him no familiar relationship with the Tooheys. So, his argument basically is these folks have acted all along like they adopted me, and they really didn't. It was a financial play for them. They wanted, and again, these are allegations, they wanted to control my money. They wanted to control my rights. They never actually made me a member of the family. And it sounds like this has been something that's deteriorated for a while. And this is where he's going to.
All right. Now, again, that part right there, that brings me to my main question. He was never an actual on paper member of the family. It was just a conservatorship. He was never an actual member of the family. It was just a conservatorship. Now, if they had the ability to control his money and financial decisions, the only question that matters to me is in what way did they do it? That's where, some abuse can come in. That's where some abuse and some foul play can come in. But other than that, I'm not seeing where anything goes wrong. I got an article coming up that's going to get into that and going to break all that down, where it says members of the family each allegedly paid $225,000 plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. The film earned more than $300 million. Then plus we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. You're saying that the movie, they said that's fucked up because the movie, they said he was adopted. It doesn't actually say that. It's very vague language. When he was signing those papers, it was he was said, "What does this mean?" And then in the line in the movie was, "It means you're a part of this family or a member of this family." It didn't exactly say they adopted him. And he wrote a book in 2011 where he didn't say they adopted him. And even the original book that it was based off of, I think the book was called The Blind Side, it didn't say that they adopted him. I think that was the view and the perception. of it. But we're going to get into that a little more. He says Sandra Bullock spoke on it. She was smart. She'd stay the fuck out of it. If she was smart, she would stay all the way the hell out of it. She would. Absolutely. It ain't got nothing to do with her. She was just an actor. She just played a role and won an Oscar. And she don't got nothing to do with the legal mumbo jumbo.
Going to get into an issue with the statute of limitations, because at some point, the argument will be something happened that should have caused you to go read that document, that should have caused you to become curious about it. And you didn't. You should have, but you didn't. Why did you wait until February of 2023 to do whatever you did to come to the conclusion that these folks had lied to you about making you a member of the family? So, this case may not last for very long, depending upon how that expected statute of limitations argument goes. But it's still a stunner. I mean, this was like the feel-good story of 2009. Right? The altruistic family that brings in this big, large guy. And I think he also didn't like the idea that the movie portrayed him as being not very smart.
Right.
He's always kind of had an issue with that.
Yeah, the movie did him dirty in that regard. They made him seem real dumb. They made it seem like he didn't even know how to play football until they inspired him. He was already an All-American before they found him. He just had such a fucked up, troubled past. He was on the path of being one of those. Just a lot of All-Americans who, you know, they got good natural gifts, but they home life so fucked up that they likely are not going to college because they barely even going to school. They going to school just enough to show up on game day to play on the field or play on the court. If there's some academic eligibility issue that the teacher's just passing them through, it was enough there to where his life was messed up, but he did have natural gift and talent, and he has said from the start. I remember in an early interview a long time ago, he was saying that he believed he would have made it to the NFL with or without the Tuohys, you know, but they helped him along the way. They definitely helped him and made his life, you know, made his life better. They definitely helped him and made his life better. Reading something that RM just put in the back. In 2016, when Oher secured a 3-year extension with the Panthers, a deal that boasted a staggering $21.6 million value with $9 million guaranteed. Public available sources estimate Oher's net worth at $16 million, reflecting the accumulation of his NFL earnings and financial ventures. That doesn't say. Okay, here it is at the bottom. Okay. As of writing, Celebrity Net Worth shared that Michael has amassed a net worth of $12 million. This figure directly reflects his career in the NFL, where he earned a total salary of $34 million over his 8 years. That's relatively not a lot, especially by today's standard, but $34 million, I mean, yeah. But there's $34 million over the course of his 8-year career. Okay. All right. What is it saying right here? This is not her radar, Sandra. Just that's just talking casually in the private chat. I know what the hell that was. All right, but okay. All right. All right. So let's get into that. We're gonna get. I'll play a little bit more of this, and we're gonna get into the article.
You know, it was Sandra Bullock won the Oscar, for crying out loud. It was a popular movie. It made $300 million, which then was a lot. Now it's like $1 billion. Hey, don't talk to us about a hit unless you're making $1 billion. But still, $300 million was a big deal in 2009 for a movie that probably cost way less than that to make. So that's where it stands. That's what happened. It was on every nightly news broadcast. It's a big deal. It's a big story because it was one of those things that crossed over when The Blind Side was in theaters. And this is the kind of thing that even though Michael Oher has.
To the person that's saying 34 million is not a lot, go look at it's NBA free agency is kind of just happened. Yeah, it's pretty much over. It's over. I didn't even pay that much attention to it this year. But go look at how much these dudes was getting paid. And I pay attention to basketball, not like I used to. I used to name damn near every player on every roster. But go look. I guarantee it's dudes who you couldn't even pick out of a lineup that just got $40 million a year. Guarantee. Fantastic is right. 40 million is a lot for a lineman in that time. Yeah. But I'm talking by today's standard. With players getting paid, and particularly the NBA. The NFL don't get paid like the NBA. But by today's standard, yeah, it's a whole nother thing. Yeah. like right there. Fantastic. The NBA, that 40 million is bench money. Like, it's dudes who I literally cannot pick out of a lineup that I'd be like, damn, he just signed a 4-year deal, 30 million a year. Like, I remember when Garnett signed, I remember when $100 million contracts first became a thing. And now it's role players, barely average 10 points a game, signing 4-year, $100 million contracts. It's like, so yeah, it's a whole new game out there. It's a whole new game out there. So that's why, because saying I'm not adding in inflation, that's why I said by today's standard, that 40 million or 34 million is not a lot of money based off how athletes, based off the size of the contracts today. Understand there are mitigating factors that have to do with how and why they're getting paid so much today. I'm not disputing those points. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that it's overall it's it's a big difference. God damn it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let's get into it. Like I said, I'm gonna roll a little bit more. That's why I pull up the article.
Since 2016, it's going to cross over now, and it's going to be a big deal until that case is resolved.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Hold up.
It's an interesting thing. That's what they were just about to say before I accidentally stopped it. When did he realize that he wasn't actually adopted by them? And it's like the questions that I have, and maybe these are just the questions that I have. Why does it matter to him whether or not he was actually adopted or not? Like that part is irrelevant. But he's saying that they used the notion, the idea that they adopted him as some way to make money off him. And it's very possible that, they're claiming that they didn't make any money off the movie. That's what they're claiming. So we're going to get into that. And it's kind of a mess. And so they're claiming they didn't make no money off the movie, and whether or not the conservatorship is the reason, if they did make money, is the conservatorship the reason why they made money off the movie. But anyway, here it is. Sean Tuohy reacts to Michael Oher's blindside allegation, says family never made money off film. That's what they are alleging. Former NFL star Michael Oher filed a petition seeking to end his conservatorship, which he alleged he was tricked into signing at age 18. All right, let's get into it. Let me make it a little bigger, just a little. Let me get, they doing that stupid shit that I hate. Where they popping up with advertisements and putting it in front of okay. After former NFL star Michael Oher, whose life story was inspired by the movie Blind Side, filed a petition on Monday seeking to end his conservatorship. He said he was tricked into signing at 18 by the Tuohy family. The Tuohy family has responded to allegations. Sean Tuohy, portrayed by Tim McGraw. I never even realized that was Tim McGraw. It was a moment in my life I explained, a brief 2-year period where I used to listen to country music at work because that's all the hell they played. So I do know some Tim McGraw songs, but I never noticed that was him in the movie. Told the Dallas Memphian he found out about the petition through a friend, sent him a link on ESPN story breaking the news. We're devastated, Tuohy said. It's upsetting to think that we would make money off of any of our children. Now that's interesting. They're referring to him as one of their children, even though they never formally adopted him, but they view him as family. They're going to talk about the legal ramifications as to why, the exact specific reasons why he couldn't technically get adopted, but they apparently, based off their words, view him as family. But we're going to love Michael at 37, just like we loved him at 16. Or played for the Baltimore Ravens, Carolina Panthers, and Tennessee Titans. Alleged in the petition of the Tuohys presented to him with the paperwork in 2004 that he believed to be adoption papers. He believed they were adoption papers. In the scene in the movie that I wish I had, actually, if you can find that scene where the way the movie portrayed it, he was confused and didn't know what he was signing, and he asked him, what does it mean? And it said, it means you're a part of this family. So the movie depicted it as if he had every reason to believe that they were actually adoption papers. If you can find that clip, put it in the private chat for me, RM. Instead, the document made the Tuohys his conservators, but did not legally make him a part of their family, the petition said. Michael Oher discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment. This is a quote that we just read from the article from the people that we were just looking at. To his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023, when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Tuohy family, in fact, provided him no familial relationship with the Tuohys, the petition stated. The document, which Oher signed at 18, gave the Tuohys the legal authority, that's how I like to say that word, gave him the illegal authority to arrange all his business deals. Gave him the legal authority to arrange all his business deals. Now, I do think they did some arranging with getting him into college and Ole Miss and all of that. My biggest point of contention with all of this is that where is the evidence that they did any arranging with his other business deals, as far as, his career, his contract. I don't know if he had endorsements and other shit going on. Like, it's no evidence that they were managing anything. They even when he went to the NFL, it was a very specific agent that they were friends with that they tried to get him to get that guy to be Michael Oher's agent. He rejected that. He didn't want that guy. He picked another guy. So they weren't really. There's no evidence they were abusing power. The only thing that it could be is that if they got broke off big time off that movie, then they could, and that conservatorship was the reason why, and that money should have went to him. That would be the only area where he has a specific argument, but it's going to break down some details to where that might be shaky. But we're going to get into that. Or alleged in the petition, the Tuohys then allegedly used their power to negotiate a deal for the film The Blind Side, according to the petition. More on the Blind Side controversy. Now, here it is right here. Let me see. All right, Michael Oher claims that this is what he's claiming in the lawsuit. All right, in the petition. This is what's important in it. Well, this is what he's claiming. Michael Oher claims the Tuohys never adopted him and made millions off of Blind Side. The Blind Side controversy. Okay. The Blind Side controversy with Michael Oher said the movie got wrong about his true story. Okay. Like that part, like the movie getting details wrong, that's not really a big deal. That's not really a big deal. It says the Blind Side controversy with Michael Oher said the movie got wrong about his true story. That's not a big deal if the movie got some facts and details wrong. Movies always do that. I'm watching. It's not called Showtime. It's called Winning Time. It's about the Showtime Lakers, but it's on HBO. But they can't call it Showtime because Showtime is the competitor of HBO. So they can't call the movie about the Showtime Lakers Showtime. They're calling it Winning Time. So I was watching Winning Time, which in my mind, I call it Showtime, but I was watching Winning Time and they're making up so much shit. It's ridiculous because I know about the Showtime Lakers. I've done research on that. I'm like an NBA historian. I know all the details of that shit and they just lying their ass off. They just making up stories out of nowhere. But the Blind Side family now, what happened to the Tuohys after the movie came out? Blind Side, the Tuohy family says Michael Oher's lawsuit is a shakedown. That's what the Tuohys are saying, that it's a shakedown. It does look like he's trying to just, come for money. Now, if he believes that he should have made the money that they made off that film, if it's true that they made a lot of money, off that film, and he believes it should have been his money being made off that film, and the only reason they were able to make that money is because of the conservatorship, then I believe he has a legitimate case. The petition alleges the film, which made over 300 million worldwide at the box office, according to Box Office Mojo, paid the Tuohys and their now adult birth children $225,000 each, plus 2.5% of the movie's defined net proceeds. Now that definitely will come up to a decent amount of money. That'll come up to definitely a decent amount of money. 2.5% of 300 million. Somebody do the quick maths on that and let me know. I already put it in the private chat with the quick maths on that, but somebody do it in the chat room too. Or says, earned nothing from the film according to the petition. So if this is about him just trying to get money from off the film and he can't get money off the film because of that conservatorship, then again, that's where it can come off definitely as, I see it. I see the point. Tui told the Daily Memphian, we didn't make any money off the movie. Now they're alleging that they didn't make any money off the movie. We were never offered money. We never asked for money. He said, adding that Michael Lewis, the author of the book Blind Side, gave the family, including or half of his share. So the person who wrote the book got money off the movie. Tui told the newspaper that ended up being about $14,000 each. So this is a situation now where you got one person alleging one thing, another person alleging a different thing. Here's the deal. That's a very provable thing, whether or not they may, whether they got 2.5% of $300 million. That is a provable, tractable thing. You can't hide that with the IRS. So that part will be proven. So if it comes out that only thing they got is $14,000, that's why this is looking shaky. So it turns into a situation of who do you believe? It turns into a situation of, he signed a conservatorship, which he thought was adoption papers. He thought the conservatorship was somehow adoption papers, and that caused him to be, that caused on paper them having control over things in terms of his financial decisions. But if they never controlled anything, they never abused that power other than to, help him get into college. If they never abused that power other than helping him get into college, and there's no evidence that they made any big money off of it, then I arrive at the conclusion that what the hell is all this even about? That's the conclusion I arrive at. That is the conclusion that I arrive at. Now, let me pull something out. Let me pull up the scene from the movie that got everybody thinking that the movie, and I would say rightfully thinking that the movie stated that they adopted him. It doesn't say it. But I think everybody rightfully thinks that because of this scene that I'm about to pull up right now. And of course it's going to work. I was thinking it wasn't going to work.
Hold up.
Let's see. Right there. Let me do that there. And I just hooked up some fast. Okay, there we go. About to say, I just hooked up some faster internet now. The internet should be coming faster. All right, here we go.
The graphics are bright. It's awesome.
Michael, we have something we'd like to ask you.
What?
Well, Leanne and I, we'd like to become your legal guardians.
What's that mean?
What it means is that we want to know if you would like to become.
The part that I saw, didn't see that part where it said come become legal guardian. Yeah, that means, far as I know, that means adoption. Is this some legal mumbo jumbo that it's some legal mumbo jumbo that being a legal guardian is not adoption? That could be the case. But so everybody got right to believe that the movie portrayed it as they adopted him.
Part of this family. like to become part of this?
Ask you.
What?
Well, Leanne and I, well, we'd like to become your legal guardians.
What's that mean?
What it means is that we want to know if you would like to become part of this family.
Kind of thought I already was.
Well, all right then.
Right here.
You saying, look at the daughter? Why you saying, look at the daughter? Oh, do we got to address the the fact that that him and their daughter the same age, and they got them in the same house, and and yeah, something probably went down. Is that where you going? That's not where you going, are you, Emmett Perry? Hmm? Is that where you're going? Are you going to turn this into that kind of movie? Are you trying to turn this into that movie? That look right there, that wasn't just, just that you saying that's not just a I love you as a brother look. Is that what you're trying to say? Pornhub stepbrother interracial scene. Oh man, we know what the Mac the Trucker be typing into the search engine. We yeah. All right. Does it show more about this? I think it touches on it a little more. Let's see. All right.
Got a couple steps.
Watch that big foot.
One more.
Let me know in the back. Is that it? Is that the? Cause I think you watched the whole clip, Arm. Is there any other parts of it that's relevant? Okay. All right. So that's it right there. All right. All right. So let's get back into the article. But that was the part right there where, yeah, I mean, watching it, everybody had reason to believe that he was adopted. All right. Is what it is. Is what it is. It was put out there like he was adopted, but he wasn't. That they adopted him, but they didn't. I saw eBlack TV put in there scammers. The only way that it's going to come out that they were scammy is if they made a bag off the movie and excluded him out of it due to that conservatorship, that of which they're alleging we were never offered money. We never asked for money. He said, adding Michael Lewis, the author of the book Blindside, gave the family, including Oher, half of his share. Truly told the newspaper that ended up being about $14,000 each. That's what's being alleged. So it's two different stories, and that story right there is the full tale of the tape of whether or not anything legitimate is going to happen here. Later on August 15th, Marty Singer, the attorney, Sean Lay, and Tui issued a statement on Oher's filing. Unbeknownst to the public, Mr. Oher has actually attempted to run this play several times before, but it seems that numerous other lawyers stopped representing him once they saw the evidence and learned the truth. The statement reads in part, sadly, Mr. Oher finally found a willing enabler and filed this ludicrous lawsuit as a cynical attempt to drum up attention in the middle of his latest book tour. Now, that was worded a little cutthroat. However, whenever I see the timing of anything and it's related to a book coming out, I question the person who's making the book more so than the person who's being accused. Scottie Pippen released a statement that Phil Jackson was racist. It coincidentally came around the time that his book was coming out. Whenever somebody drop a bombshell that throws somebody under the bus, it's always around the time that a book was coming out. I always question that. I can't help it. In a statement on August 14th, Oher's attorney said they will let the petition speak for itself. Sean Tui told the Daily I hate the way this word is, Memphian, the conservatorship had nothing to do with the movie and was the route to helping secure Oher's eligibility to play college football. We contacted lawyers who had told us that we couldn't adopt over the age of 18. The only thing we could do was to have a conservatorship, he said. We were so concerned it was on the up and up that we made sure the biological mother came to court. Tennessee law does allow for adoption for those above the age of 18, though Tui said he was advised it was not permitted in the state, the Daily Memphian reported. Tui said the family is prepared to do whatever Michael wants, even ending the conservatorship. Now, if they made the bag already, then yeah, we can just end the conservatorship. But no, he's trying to sue y'all for the bag that y'all allegedly made that you're claiming that you didn't make. It's hard because you have to defend yourself, but whatever he wants, we'll do. We're not in this for anything other than whatever he wants. Tui told the Memphian if he'd have said, I don't want to be a part of this family anymore, I hate the way he worded that. We'd have been very upset, but we absolutely would have done it. Now, this is where they get goofy because they're speaking like the conservatorship don't got nothing to do with him being a part of the family. Like the movie made it seem like whatever papers were signed had something to do with him being a part of the family. The conservatorship don't make him a part of the family. So it's hard because you have to defend yourself, but whatever he wants to do, we'll do. We're not in this for anything. When they say whatever he wants to do, we'll do. That's signed the conservatorship. We're not in this for anything other than whatever he wants. Until he told the Memphian if he have said, I don't want to be a part of this family anymore, we have been very upset, but we absolutely would have done it. They're making it seem like the conservatorship links him to the family in an actual substantial, familiar way. It's like it doesn't. So they're wording things goofy as well. Like I can see the goofiness on his part with the book coming out and saying that the movie said they adopted me and they didn't really adopt me, and I see some stuff on his end that don't make sense, but the way that they're wording that don't exactly make sense either. Tui's son, Sean Tui Jr., also spoke about the timing of the petition. Now, this part is interesting. Spoke about the timing of the petition in an interview with Barstool Radio. If he says he learned that in February, I find that hard to believe. He said, there was a thing back in 2020, 2021 that we're like, if you guys give me this much, and by this much means this much money, if you guys give me this much money, I won't go public with things, he added. So the son is saying that, yeah, Michael Oher was telling him, 2-3 years ago that, hey, give me X amount of dollars, I won't go public with this stuff. Now that's a line. If you believe that line, and if you accept that line, it does sort of reek of my hypothesis that got me kind of thinking, is he broke? Did he run through that 34 million? Big ass 350-pound linemen normally don't get shoe contracts. So did he have any other source of money? Was it just his NFL money? And did he kind of run through that? And so, it does beg that question. We don't know if he broke. You can't trust a Google net worth. But if he's going to them saying, give me some money and I won't go public, then that says a lot. That says a lot if that is true. But this is all at the stage of it where you don't know what to believe. Still, he said the lawsuit won't change the love he has for Oher. They still love him. They still love him. All right. There was another super chat that I don't see it for some reason. It's not auto starring them. So you got to put the super chats on the screen. RM, I don't see it. I had to scroll all the way up. So if you could put that on the super chat I haven't read, or any super chats I haven't read on the screen. Okay, I found it. Okay, just my 4 cents in the movie says the movie is about Frankenstein. I had to scroll all the way up to find that one, but no. Thank you very much. Do appreciate you coming through and dropping. Where is
these last $2? I'm not gonna lose.
All right. Let me get back into it. But no, thank you for that super chat. Do appreciate that. All right. Here we go. Says, I love Mike at 16. I love Mike now. He's 37, he said, and I'll love him at 67. So there's not going to be any legal docs thing that makes me go, screw that guy. Or now retired after playing 8 seasons in the NFL and winning a Super Bowl, is asking a Tennessee court to end the conservatorship, prohibit the Tuohys from using his name, likeness, and pay him his fair share of profits. So that's more or less what this is all about. He's trying to get whatever bag he believes that they made off the movie. He's trying to get to that bag. More or less, that's the gist of it. They're saying they didn't make any money off the movie. He's saying, no, yeah, I got the bag off the movie, and I got the bag because of this conservatorship. And I want to end the conservatorship and sue ya for said bag. That's what this is about. Because if you look at this surface, at surface level, it's really confusing. Where they're talking about the movie. And, it don't matter what the movie said. It really don't matter what happened in the movie. The movie could have been a complete fabrication. It still was about him. Only thing that matters is, did they make a lot of money off the movie? And did they only make that money because of conservatorship that he was tricked into signing at 18? Whether or not they actually adopted him, that's irrelevant. Who cares? Who cares if he was legally adopted or not? They still did what they did for him, and that's what they did, whether they legally adopted him or not. The adoption part only comes into play if he thought those conservatorship papers were adoption papers. I tend to believe that rather they would have said, oh, this is a conservatorship, or this is adoption, this is this. I tend to believe he would have signed the shit regardless. If they would have said this is conservatorship, is going to help you get into college, he would have signed the shit. Like he would have signed that shit either way. That is what I believe. He would have signed it. Like helping his life. They was changing his life. They was he would have signed the paperwork. He would have. So the whether or not those were adoption papers, or he thought they was adoption papers, I think that part is irrelevant. It's just I want part of that money that y'all off the movie that y'all got. Y'all sold y'all company for $200 million. They rich. They had a company, and even in the movie they had a big company. They was making a lot of money. They sold it for $200 million, and now, yeah, between that money and whatever money y'all made from the movie, cut the check. That's what he's on. If they made money off the movie, and that can be proven, and seeing as that can be proven, everything else is irrelevant. Either you prove that or you don't prove that, and everything else is just publicity. And I got a book coming out. But if you could prove that they made a bag, then, and the conservatorship was the reason why they were able to make a bag and exclude you out of it. If that can be proven, then in that case, go get your money. Christian Hutchins in the building says he is close family friend. He doesn't get inheritance or included in major decisions. He is hurt and prob needs some money, but not broke. Hurt feelings. That's an aspect and angle on it too, that he's on some, if I'm a part of this family, I should get inheritance. I should get this. I should be included in this. I should be, basically whatever they got set up for the kids, y'all should have that set up for me. There is an element of that, but he's not that. And I didn't even want to explore the hurt feelings part of it. There is a hurt feeling. I'm about to pull up an interview of him talking about the Tui family where he was throwing shade. Appreciate you putting 5 on it, by the way. Appreciate you putting 5 on it. I'm about to pull up a interview where he was throwing shade.
Personally, he'll do fantastic. FaceTimes me all the time when he has a big time recruit in, and they were a Marvel character. So to have him be able to body develop.
I'm skipping ahead because they were just talking about general football stuff.
In this, you were a teammate of his in Carolina. You guys went to the 2015 Super Bowl.
Yeah,
lost to the Denver Broncos, but you see
someone doesn't appreciate who you are as a person. I think that carries more weight than anything. But me personally, you have to get to know people. But Cam he's still a fantastic guy, fun-loving guys I've ever been around. Geez, Cam he's missing
Cam Newton in this. You were a teammate of his in Carolina, and that you were timid and you had to be kind of like mislabeled sometimes, misunderstood. In studio, author of the new book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, he wrote, I beat the odds. And you just said you feel like you've been mislabeled sometimes, misunderstood. And I think, at least from what I've read in the book, a lot of that stems from how you were portrayed in the movie The Blind Side, and that people might have the wrong idea of your personality, number one, that you were this kind of shy wallflower, that you were timid and you had to be kind of like drawn out of your shell, when in reality, you were a workaholic, you were hyper organized, and you were like, damn it, I'm making something of myself no matter what it takes after a rough background. Is that the big one that you feel you were mislabeled as?
I think it took away the hard work and the dedication that I created from a child, and going to school in the 3rd grade, getting myself up. First one in the locker room, last one out. And I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed, not being able to read or write. 2nd grade.
Before we get into that part of the portrayal, I think that part, what he just described right there, and this sort of speaks to what somebody said about the hurt feelings. And by the way, shout out to Salty Balls. It'll drop the $20 Cash App. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate him. You're dropping that cash.
Suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them and suck them.
He actually dropped that before the show even started. I think I can turn on a notification to make my Cashapp make. I think it's like a little like a loose change sound that the Cashapp make when you get a. I think I can do that. Yeah, I need to do that. But shout out to Salty Balls. Shout out to Salty Balls. Do appreciate that. I forgot who it was that made a statement about, you know, his hurt feelings. I think there is an aspect of it where he feels like, you know, look, I'm a man. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a man among men. I'm a big ass super athlete. Yeah. Shout out to Christian Hutchinson. Yeah, he said his close family, you know, he is close family friend. He doesn't get inheritance or included in major decisions. He is hurt and probably needs money, but not broke. Hurt feelings. I do think it's. I didn't want to get too deep into that, but what I just listened to him saying, it kind of reeks of that, because it's like making it to the NFL is extremely difficult. Staying in the NFL, an 8-year, nearly decade career in the NFL is extremely difficult. Even if you do have all the gifts, it's extremely difficult. And all his glory is being given to somebody else. And I think he is frustrated with that. And I think he don't like that. I think he's the aspects of the movie he don't like that he's already talking about right now. But there's an element of it where the movie depicted it like he didn't even know how to play football. He was just like a big for nothing, he was just a big ass soft dude out there. And Sandra Bullock motivated and inspired him to get out there and play football. And they was talking, they said a lot of weird stuff. It was Hollywood, and he don't like that people view him like that. And he says it all the time. I was an All-American before I met them. I would have made it here with or without him, with or without them. They just helped. He makes that point all the time. And I do think there is a strong element of it where, give me my credit, put some spec on my name, give me my flowers. Don't just get these white folks who who probably saved your life. Don't just give them all the credit. I think it is a serious factor in the equation that's sort of what's going on.
Great, I was doing plays and in front of.
Oh, and by the way, Christian Hutchinson, thank you for sending me that stuff about D Wade in his Hall of Fame speech. I was going to be talking about that today, but I do got content coming on that. That was real good. But I'll be getting into that later.
And I think that's one of the, when you go into a locker room and your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy on someone, and you have to understand. I understand that the movie has given me a position. I'm honored to have the position it's given me, but you have to understand, before I moved in with the family, I was an All-American. That's what I want the generations behind me to see in this book right here, to understand that you don't have to have someone save you and rescue you to go out and be successful. You got every tool in you. And this book right here is a playbook on life. Looking yourself in the mirror when I was 11, 12-year-old kid, telling myself, hey, everyone around you is even in an even worse situation that you're in. So you're going to have to get up and do this thing yourself, and developing a routine right then when I could have given up.
See, now this interview was before everything leaked out about the lawsuit, but you can see he was already in his own way trying to tell his story separate and apart from them. This book is saying that even though, the view and the perception of it and the truth in it is somebody did come in and save him, he's saying nobody has to come in and save you. You could do it all by yourself. And he talk about all the ways in which he's trying to transition into talk about all the ways that he independently did it. Like, that's more or less what he's trying to do.
11, 12-year-old, as an 11 to 12-year-old kid. So that's what I'm trying to paint the message in this book right here. And looking through everything that I went through and finding a positive in it.
And it wasn't that you don't have gratitude to the family that took you in. That's really
very
not the
grateful.
message.
Very grateful for every family that helped me throughout this journey.
Notice the dude interviewed him said it's not that you don't have gratitude for the family that took you in. He cut him off and said, I'm very grateful for every family that helped me. He is downplaying the shit out of them.
It's a lot of people that deserve a lot of credit. For me, I want to show the young people and everyone behind me that, hey, you deserve some credit for your hard work. You can get it done. And that's really the goal.
That's his message coded in there. I deserve credit for my hard work. Yeah, they helped me, this and that. They like the whole term, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. He like, y'all wouldn't with me. Y'all wasn't out there with me, on them hot ass summer tour days out there running and training. Y'all ain't do that. Like, calm y'all ass down. Like that's what he on right now. Like, I built this shit. This is my shit. I created my career. Thank y'all for the soft couch that I slept on or the warm bed I slept in, but goddamn it, y'all ain't get out there on the field with me. Y'all didn't block Pro Bowl linebackers and defensive ends. Like cut the shit. That's sort of what he owned. Like he's downplaying the shit out of them. And there's an aspect of me where I can get it that okay. I get that he wants to, write his own story. He wants to be the star in the story of his own life, and he don't like that somebody else is, and he don't like that depiction. But how many Pro Bowl left tackles out there that we don't even know their damn name or give a fuck that they got a second book coming out, So it's like, yeah, there's aspects of that you don't like, but at the same time, if you can make a couple mil off this book, it's like that movie is the reason why. You made money off the first book. The movie is the reason why. It's casual fans that barely watch football, let alone it's hell. It's people who actually watch football and like it, but can't name the name of offensive linemen. So it's like, how do you? It's like you almost just got to take the good with that bad. JC the Congress saying, didn't you have to sign off on a movie? No, they can make a movie about you whether you sign off on it or not. They don't need your permission. I told you I just been watching a Winning Time movie about the TV show about the Showtime Lakers. The people in that, the players, the movie was damn near half made before some of them even realized, oh shit, they're making a movie about us or a TV show about us. They don't need that. They do not need your permission. Your public image is just out there. Your public image is literally just out there, and anybody can do whatever with it. They can make a movie about it. Now, you could sue them if you feel like you were slandered. You could definitely sue them if you feel like you were slandered or misrepresented, or if it was something horrible that was put in there that's not true. You can definitely do something about that. You definitely can. But overall, no. Nobody needs your permission. They made it. It's a damn show about Mike Tyson that's on Hulu. Mike Tyson didn't sign off on that shit. In fact, Mike Tyson did some interviews making it clear, I don't got shit to do with that depiction. He made it clear, I don't got shit to do with that. Chris Hudgens says it's considered public good for the Showtime Lakers. It's more than 30 years ago. Yeah, some stuff is just public information. They could do what the fuck they want to do with it. Christian Hutchison says, just play In My Feelings. He is so far in his feelings, he needs to move on. This worse than C-Web crying about taking money or bad time out. Yeah, there's a there's an aspect of it where he's sort of just outright on some, I don't get it. And like I said before, this is what it all hinges on. All of this hinges solely and 100% on whether or not they made money, a lot of money off the movie. I don't know. Again, I didn't even see in the chat room if somebody did the quick maths for me on 2.5% of 300 million. If they got 2.5% of the $300 million that was made off the movie, and the only reason that they were able to get that is because of that conservatorship that he signed when he thought it was adoption papers, then there's a bag there that he could get off them. And I would even say a legitimate bag if all that is true. If the reason why he couldn't make no money off the movie, but they made a lot of money is because they got him to sign something that he thought was something else, he got a case. But if it turns out, which is provable, that he didn't make any money that they didn't make any money off the movie, okay, the quick maths is $7.5 million. So if they made $7.5 million off the movie, and he couldn't make no money off the movie, but they could because of that conservatorship, there's a case. That's the only thing in this that's legitimate. Everything else, you're right. It do sound like some butt hurt. It does sound like some hurt feelings. That much is true. That much is true. But I say again, they got to prove that. Prove that you can't hide $7.5 million. I mean, you can finagle your taxes and figure out a way not to pay it if you're making enough money and got all millions and all kind of assets and places to hide money. But the money came in. You just figured out how to way to not pay taxes on it, but it had to be accounted for somewhere in the tax code. So once you understand that part right there, then yeah, then it's a checkmate. He got a case. But we shall see. We shall see. Says they led the guy who wrote the book to believe he was adopted. What make y'all think they didn't have or believing such? He probably did believe that. But my only question is, what did they profit and benefit off of it? Those things have to be proven. Him believing he was adopted when he really wasn't adopted, again, I thought I was a part of this family. That's all that is. I was never really a part of this family. Who gives a shit? Can you prove that they made money off of those papers? That's the only thing that matters. And did them making that money exclude you from money? That's the only thing that matters. But no. So that means they tricked him into signing a conservatorship, thinking it meant they were adopting him. They were adopting him into the family. Yeah. That's wrong. But you only can sue them if you can prove that they made a bag off of that, and you were excluded from a bag because of that. That all the minutia of this and that and everything else is when I sorted through all of it and just came to the conclusion that everything else is bullshit other than those 2 points right there. Java Joe with the $10 super chat says they would have gotten significantly less than 7.5 million. They would have gotten a percentage of the of the net profit, not the gross sales. So, okay, the movie took the high end estimate is $100 million to make. I mean, that wasn't no big budget blockbuster with Michael, with no Michael Mann explosions in that shit, you know. So yeah, I'm giving a very generous, rounding up $100 million it probably cost to make that movie. Actually, that's Googleable information. And I may wrap this one up soon. I'll put the link in the chat real quick if anybody want to come up and speak on it. But I don't got that much to say on it. I was going to talk about the Dwayne Wade situation, but I think I'm going to save that one as well. But drop that link in the chat if anybody wants to. I'll give 2 minutes for anybody to come up, but I may end this one early and save the D Wade thing for later. What was I Googling? Oh yeah. How much did it cost to Damn. Okay, so yeah, they made that off $29 million. And I don't know if there's other thing to go in the budget. Advertising this or that. I mean, listen, we can round it all the way up to $100 million, but they say 29 million USD.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Yeah. Yep. $29 million. So it didn't cost that much to make the movie. So rather it was 7.5 million, or rather it was 5 million, or whatever. They made a profit. So, it is what it is. If, a lot of people are tripping because how could he not make no money off the movie? It's actually common. It's actually common that people have movies made about them and they don't make a dime off of it. That's actually common. It's only an issue of that money that he made, that they made. Can he get his hands on that? But I'll read a few more comments and we'll probably get up on out of here. But thank you for that $10 super chat. Do appreciate that. Says we watch a 2-hour movie mainly because Sandra Bullock in those tight skirts. I didn't care about him being adopted. Sandra Bullock do it for you like that? She just don't. I mean, she ain't a bad looking woman, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, she ain't, she ain't. I'm watching this movie just because she in it bad. Like, she just like, if she's there, I mean, okay, yeah, not bad to look at. She's nice looking. Her voice is annoying as fuck. I think that's why I'm not attracted to her. Yeah, she got that deep, kind of scratchy voice kind of deep for a woman, kind of scratchy. It looked like some of the sound. It sounded like some of the sound come out of her nose when she talk. It's like she talked from like her nasal cavity somewhere. Like, yeah, I'm no big fan. No big fan. You said Sandra Bullock is a gorgeous white lady. No, come on. On the scale of gorgeous white ladies, no. She's a good actor. She's a good actor and has been in some entertaining movies, but she ain't just, when you just see her, like, you just like, damn, she fine. I remember I can't even think. Like the white women who just get the damn she fine when you see them in a movie and you pay a little more attention. Well, Wolf of Wall Street was a great movie, but the chick that played Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in there, she was it's like you look at her and you're like, yeah, they picked her just because she fine. I don't even know if she can act. It was like a just because she fine. The chick that was what's her name? I don't even know how she looked now. She probably looked like shit now, but the one that was in the first Transformers movie, Megan Fox. Not good, Megan Fox. There's some that were out where you could just look at them and like, yep, she moved to LA, went to a Hollywood audition, and they just picked her because she cute. It's something that ain't Sandra Bullock. No. Even when she was younger, that was not Sandra Bullock. To where she just, the Scarlett Johansson's, Angelina Jolie, it's some to where talent or no talent, you could tell they just walked on an audition in Hollywood somewhere and just got casted. Like, okay, yep, that's the look we want. Yep. Can she complete a sentence? Or don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. No, that ain't Sandra Bullock. Java Joe in the building says, just for comparison, Lawrence Fishburne says the original Matrix never made a net profit. God damn, you serious? I'm about to wrap the show up, but now we just have I don't remember a lot of hype around that movie. I do remember that when it came out, some of my friends, they said they went and watched it and then like walked out and walked back in and watched it again. Like it was that good to them. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to see this. But I didn't see it at the movies. I saw it later. I don't know if I saw it at the movies. I think I saw it later. I'm trying to find on IMDb, you normally can find the budget of a movie. And they are not giving it. They are not giving me the budget information. But I'm bringing it up like that because it wasn't exactly a lot of hype around it. So I do believe that it's very possible that it didn't make a lot of money. Okay. Oh, shit. Wow. Oh, no, it made money. The budget was $63 million. I don't know how they got that done in $63 million. The budget was $63 million. US and Canada gross was $172 million. It didn't make a lot of money on the scale. It didn't have the best advertisement. The opening weekend was $27 million. Gross worldwide was 400 something million, but US and Canada made $172 million. So no. Matrix made money. But you'll be shocked some of the movies don't make money, especially the ones that be having them 200, 300, $400 million budgets. They do not be making money. Right. Let's see. Hoop Jargon says the chick on American Pie was fine. I don't even remember her face. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right. We about to get the hell up out of here. I will be back tomorrow. And I set it at 12. And on my clock, it said 12:01 when I started my show today. So fuck what you heard. I started on time today. I'm gonna try to keep that going. But all right. Before we get out of here,
welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right. We've done so much with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything with nothing. Make sure you go and subscribe to Machismo TV. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone. Not yet. All right, now we gone.